Hello everybody and welcome back to Extra Holiday Games. I'm Extra Holiday, and if I weren't trying to play a video game right now, I'd probably be like reading a book out loud or something, because oh boy, am I running out of things to talk about. It's weird to say because I feel like I have a lot going on in my life already. But specifically in instances like this, I'm like, I wish I had led a more interesting life, you know? But also at the same time, I don't, because there is such a thing as having too much going on. I guess what I'm really saying is I wish I were better at doing this. Talking into a mic while I'm playing video games and just finding things to talk about. Because, yeah, I don't know. Is the problem that I'm running out of material? Or is it that I'm just not good enough to find the material that I have? I don't know. We've already discussed philosophy and D&D and the channel and COVID, and really the only thing I haven't talked about is work, but I don't want to talk about work because, as discussed before, if I talk about work, I'm probably just gonna complain, and I don't want to complain about work because, hey, guess what? My boss could see this. And, you know, my coworkers could also see this. It's out on the internet for everyone to see. So, yeah, it's funny, because it's really funny. There's some irony here. How, when I was growing up, and the internet was basically just coming into its own, definitely wasn't what it is now. I can't tell you how many times I heard the phrase, like, be careful what you put on the internet, it could, people can use it against you. And it's true. It's absolutely true. And we know that more than ever now because the same generation that was telling me that is now posting everything on Facebook. Regardless of whether or not it would get them into trouble. Specifically, I'm talking about stuff like the January 6th riots, where, and granted, those weren't old people, like the people those weren't all people, the people I was talking about, the generation that were, telling me to be careful what to put online. A lot of the people there were young people, but there was definitely some support by those people for the riots, and I am I just find it ironic, you know. And this could actually totally be a case of what's it called? False attribution. That's a fancy term for it. But basically, it could be a case of, like, I'm claiming that certain people are doing both things when it's actually different people doing two different things. And that this actually happens a lot on YouTube. Specifically, to give a more benign example, a lot of the times streamers will refer to every person in chat as chat. Like, they'll refer to chat collectively, and they'll do things, they'll be like, oh, why'd you tell me to do that, chat? That was terrible. Why didn't you, but now you're telling me that I shouldn't have done it. When in reality, the people that told them to do it aren't the same people who are telling him that they shouldn't have done it, because there are many people in the chat, and okay, these are really messing me up. I really don't like these twisters. I get that there were... Maybe he could have used springs. I wonder if he could have used springs. I feel like he should have used springs if he could have used springs. Yeah, a lot of the times people on the internet will be like, oh, well, Twitter got mad at this thing even though they were saying it was good earlier. It's like, no, Twitter is not one person, guys. It's not... People will basically accuse an entire group of people for being hypocritical because the members don't always disagree or agree on things. It's like, and I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that I've heard out there about how that's just natural, that it's just a natural product of how our brains aren't really designed to think about the concept of, you know, groups of hundreds of millions of people, which is what you'll find on a lot of social media, is a lot of just hundreds of millions of people, maybe even billions, depending on where you're at. So, but I don't know. I feel like if you're aware of it, it makes it a lot easier to account for it. Like, I try to account for it. And sometimes I'll catch myself being like, wait, was it actually the same? I'll catch myself being like, oh, it's the same people, they're being hypocritical. And then I'll realize, like, wait, is it actually the same people, or do I just think it's the same people because it's people in the same group? Alright, like, you gotta be careful about that, you know? I think there are significantly less hypocrites on the internet than people think. But because people like to group others into groups and then assign values to the group as a whole as if every individual holds that value, and it gets messy, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, it's textbook stereotyping. And then when someone goes against the mold, they're like, what? That doesn't make sense that you're doing the thing that, you know, you weren't doing before, even though it wasn't actually you not doing the thing before. It's an unfortunate thing that happens. But hopefully by bringing your attention to it, I have at least reduced it. The phenomenon a little bit, maybe, hopefully. I don't know how, but I'm killing that guy a lot more efficiently than I used to. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've probably even done it on the show where I'm like, oh, this group of people, yeah, they're hypocrites because, you know, they said one thing and then they said the other, but I don't know. If I did, please let me know so I can correct myself. Because that's yet another thing that I don't like doing, but I still find myself doing sometimes. And I am not immune to criticism, you know? Like, a lot of the times I'll be, like, if someone's like, hey, you're doing this wrong, and, you know, they're polite and reasonable about it, and, you know, what they're saying makes sense, then a lot of the times I'll change what I'm doing. Because, I mean, it's one thing to do something wrong, but then it's one thing to know you're doing something wrong and then do it again. At that point, you're just being stubborn, which doesn't really help much. I guess there are times where you should be stubborn, but, like, I feel like most people are stubborn far more often than they need to be. Man. Or maybe it's just the crowd I hang out with. I don't know. By hang out with, I mean I'm mostly forced to be around, because most of the people I associate with aren't people that I really choose to spend time with. Specifically, I'm talking about, you know, I live with my parents, right? And I live with them because it's the cheapest living option available. I can't really afford anything else. And I hang out with people at work because I work there, and if I don't show up, then I get fired, basically. And I guess the only exception is like D&D, because I kind of feel bad about this sometimes, but I really just don't talk to people much outside of work and, you know, basically the most obligated of social obligations. Outside of that, I don't really talk to people much. Like I see a lot of my coworkers and even my parents who are constantly just on their phones or on their computers talking to their friends constantly. I don't do that a lot of the time. In fact, most of the time, the majority of the time that I'm not at work, I'm just sitting in my room doing my own thing, not talking to anyone. Which I feel like is kind of the exception now, rather than where it used to be the rule. Because I feel like most people are nowadays, just because it's so easy to talk to your friends whenever. I feel like they're just constantly talking to their friends. And I mean, I do have friends that I could be talking to, but I don't know, it takes a lot of energy out of me, and I don't know, I guess I'm just the kind of person who needs a lot of time to themselves. It's also a reason that I'm not really looking to get into a relationship anytime soon. Because I realize that not all relationships will be like my last relationship I had, where we were talking 24/7. And we actually got tired of each other at times. But we kept talking because we felt obligated to. I realize not all relationships are like that. So... And I probably could make it so that my next relationship isn't like that. But also just... Phone? You weren't supposed to make noise there. Anyway. Speaking of... That's not someone texting me or anything. That's me... in my... That's an update on my crypto investments. Damn it. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to say... Yeah, I don't know. I like to have time to just think to myself and nobody else, because I guess the thing is, one thing is, I don't know how to put it exactly, but when I'm talking to someone else, I always have this feeling of like, I guess it might be some sort of anxiety, but whenever I'm talking to someone else, I get this feeling of like, it's not like I get this feeling. I have the feeling constantly that like, okay, there's a chance here that I mess things up and make them not like me. And I really don't want that to happen. So theoretically, the way you minimize that chance is to just not talk to people any more than you have to. So, well, I wasn't expecting the big jump. So that's kind of what I do. Whereas, you know, when I'm by myself, I'm not going to make myself like myself any less by just thinking. Because that's just not how my brain works. But I know there are people who, if they are left alone with their own thoughts, will beat themselves up. And I think that's a big, that's a big difference between me and a lot of more social people, is that, I feel safe when I'm alone, whereas other people do not. So, I don't know. Frankly, I can't tell you if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because there are downsides to it. Like the fact that I made exactly 0 friends in college, because aside from going to class, all I did was sit in my room and do homework or play games. Mostly the second one. So I didn't really make any friends, because I wasn't out socializing at all. Because I was perfectly content to just be by myself. But it also means that, I don't really get offended when people don't talk to me for a long time. And because I'm like, well, you're just busy doing your thing. And I'm okay with that. I don't need to be talking to people to feel good about myself or my life. I don't know, it's weird. I feel like I'm weird in that regard, but maybe there are probably people out there who are the same, I don't think there's any aspect of any person that is entirely unique. It's the combination of aspects that makes a person unique. I guess that technically is an aspect. A combination of aspects is an aspect, but you get what I'm saying. You're unique because you have a bunch of different things about you that you have in common with other people, but nobody has the exact same combination of things as you do. So, yeah, everyone is unique, but in ways but nobody has something to them that's entirely unique, for the most part. Okay, we're gonna do this. Here, I die here. Okay, maybe let's try it again, maybe. Let's try it again, maybe. Yeah. I want to be good at a lot of things. There's a lot of things I'm not good at that I want to be good at. And it kind of sucks, because I don't think I'll live long enough to get good at everything I want to get good at. But, man, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the times I look at where I'm at in life, and I'm like, for a second, I think, like, man, you just don't have any ambition, do you? Because, I don't have a lot to show for any ambition. I'm living with my parents. I don't have a job that provides for me. I am not, I have friends, but I'm not, super popular. But then I think, they're just... I do have ambition. It's just not, perhaps not in the most productive way, right? I want to be, because there are a lot of things I want to be good at, there are a lot of things that I pursue. But those things aren't always things that will help me get along in life. At least not without a lot of practice. To be specific, there's a lot of art type stuff that I want to be good at. Ultimately, the biggest thing I want to be good at is entertaining. I want to be a good entertainer. That's my biggest dream, basically. So I want to be able to keep people's attention and, improve their lives by, you know, basically just them paying attention to me. Which is kind of a weird way to put it now that I think about it, but okay, I'm just gonna... Why is that jump so hard? Ugh. But like, I want to be a good entertainer. You know, I want to be good at drawing. I want to be good at singing. I want to be good at playing music. I want to be good at, you know, being a dungeon master. And I want to be good at all sorts of different things. But so far, none of those things that I have tried to become good at, have put effort into becoming good at, have, you know, borne fruit, really. You know, it's a kick to the ego, a little bit. But it's at times like these where I tell myself, like, it'll work out, you know. That's what I gotta tell myself, because if I don't tell myself that, then I'm just gonna give up, you know. And I'm not gonna get anywhere if I give up. I think, in fact, I know I can make things work. It's just a matter of doing, you know. Do or do not, there is no try. I actually hate that quote, but it kind of fits here. But you know what? Maybe we'll have an equally inspirational quote next time. Because, as for this episode, that's a wrap. Get good, scrub.